Hi everyone, it's Jessica Schumacher with Canadian Mental Health Association with the Youth Talk program. We hope that you have had an enjoyable summer off, been able to hopefully relax, and since phase 3, been opening up and seeing some friends, going out and getting back into some of the routines that you had before and enjoying those wonderful, awesome, great coping strategies and things that you do for yourself to relax and have fun. So I wanted to make this video for you just to talk a little bit about some back to school jitters and concerns that youth may have. We also had a webinar for some youth a couple days ago that was recorded. So that's a full hour of tips and tricks and information for youth. So I'm hopefully going to be able to receive that and upload that to the YouTube channel here, as well as sending it out to some teachers so that maybe if you have the chance, you can sit down and watch it. I know it is an hour, but it has some really great information in it. This quick video is just going to be some short kind of quick tips and information just in general about some worries and stressors that you may have about going back to school. When we talk about going back to school, we do want to mention, though, that you are not alone in what you are feeling. There are so many other youth in the same boat as you. And whether you are physically going back into the school or doing distance ed and learning from home, it's going to be different. It's going to be a little bit stressful, but we need to know that we're all in this together, that your teachers and the school and education system, their main priority is to help you. But we also need to make sure that learning is extremely important, and it's what we need to make sure that we're doing to graduate and to go on to a different educational path later on. But right now, we need to make sure that we are feeling safe and comfortable and that our mental health and wellness is in a good space before we can learn about math and geography and anything else that way too. So there was a survey done and another webinar that went out through CMHA that talked a little bit about the worries that some youth had about going back to school. Some of them may apply to you and some of them may not, but some of them included the new rules and policies of adjusting to these routines. Wearing masks was a big one, and not really being able to recognize friends behind the mask or understand people's expressions and really getting that read on other people or their teachers. They were afraid about not being able to keep up with the schoolwork, so maybe either falling behind, not understanding it, potentially not getting that support, or maybe not exceeding their own expectations or the expectations that family or other people in the school staff might have on them. And some other youth also said that they felt a little bit out of touch, or they're worried about going back and maybe there's other groups of friends that weren't in their bubble and they're all talking about hanging out and what they did over the summer and they're not included. So they're feeling a little bit isolated that way. Another big concern for youth is not having these extracurriculars or lunch meetings or clubs or anything else that's happening in the school. And then on top of that, those things that they missed out on last year. So the disappointment from maybe missing school dances, field trips, proms, or other things that just didn't happen that they were looking forward to. And then also thinking, okay, well, what's this school year going to look like? Am I going to be able to do these? Or is it going to be 2 years of kind of the same thing? And these are very legitimate concerns from youth. And you need to know that, again, you're not alone in what you're feeling and that there are the same concerns and worries coming from the teachers and parents and staff and the entire school system. It is very uncertain. It's a big unknown, but we can't get bogged down in ruminating over and over and over again and worrying about the things that we don't know, the what ifs, those things that are out of our control, right? So things that we need to focus on are those things that we can control, the decisions that we can make, how we think, how we react, our behaviors to certain things. And that's what's really, really important. We have this really great post on our Instagram and Facebook pages about the upsides of wearing masks and just the idea of, yeah, maybe it sucks. Maybe this isn't what you wanted to do or what you thought was going to happen back in March. But what can we do about it? You can show off your personality and your style. They make really, really neat masks these days. You can hide maybe acne or the food behind your teeth. You don't have to wear makeup on the lower half of your face if that's something that you were concerned about. You get to be seeing everyone else and kind of making it a different fashion accessory too. There's upsides to that. So we need to change our way of thinking. And instead of going into a school year with so many worries and the what ifs and thinking about all the negatives that could happen, what are you looking forward to? What are the positives? What are those things that really are going to get you excited about this year? It may not be school related. We can't say that everyone is super excited for school. So then what could it be? Is it an event happening? Is it a birthday? Is it just seeing certain friends that you haven't seen before? Is it, even if you're doing learning from home, is there an online activity? Is there a book club? Are you doing something, right? Is it the fall and going to a pumpkin patch? Is it Christmas season? What is kind of helping you with that drive and motivating you to keep going? So think of those positive things, because there are so many things, right? And we know that things that happened during the pandemic and COVID weren't always great, but maybe try to reflect on something good that came out of it, right? Personally, for me, working from home and going through this pandemic for the last couple of months has really taught me to slow down and do actual self-care for myself. I was just go, go, go all the time. And now I'm learning to have this really good, important balance in my life. It's also really helped me know what is important. Who's always going to be there for you, no matter how much you don't see them or don't talk to them, right? For how many months? Who's there for you, and the important things that you need and that you have in your life that don't revolve around like technology or the things that were shut down. Like the movies are great. Well, they didn't exist and I couldn't go to the movies. Or unfortunately, baseball. I love baseball so much and that's my outlet. I like, working out and going to the gym, and I couldn't do that. But I could go out for a run still. And that is something that I still have that I'm still very grateful for. So kind of reflecting on that, it would be really important. So Children's Mental Health Ontario, they actually put out really great tips. They have a website for going back to school and talking to youth and parents and children about their mental wellness and how to support them during this time. And they had some really great tips. There's 6 tips, which I won't go into detail of, but in the webinar for the long 1-hour session, it does have that during the recording. But they were shining a spotlight on the things that you can control. So the decisions that we can make, we talked about, getting into a routine, and that's really important. So again, whether you're going into the school or working from home, where are you doing this work? Are you getting up and going to bed at the same time? Are you having nutritious meals? Are you setting aside time for breaks? Do you have a space that is yours, that's tidy? When are you doing your work, right? Do you have certain chunks, or you're like, yeah, maybe I'll do something at 8 a.m., then maybe I'll do something at 10 p.m. But trying to get back into routine for you is really important. And we go into that a little bit further in that video as well. Also, learning and understanding the new school rules is going to be really important. So that means asking questions, and no question is a stupid question. Everyone is learning, but you can't blame anyone if you don't go out to actually read about it or learn the rules and keep up with maybe the emails. It might seem very overwhelming, but in order to be the best prepared for yourself and be productive with this school year, you want to make sure that you are well informed and knowing what's expected of you and what you can do. Number 5 is identifying a person that could give you some support that's in the school system. Again, is it working from home, or is it going into the school? Is it a teacher? Is it a custodian? Is it one of the admin in the librarian maybe, right? Who is a great support that you could go to and reach out to? And then the 6th one is what we've already said, is remembering that you're not alone, and then opening up and being honest with other people, your peers and friends, family, leaning on them for that extra support as well to help with not just school related things is going to be really important for you. We know that taking care of yourself and knowing when you're not doing so great and when your mental health and wellness is kind of dropping on that continuum to feeling very overwhelmed, maybe a little bit in distress and not knowing where to turn and cope. So trying to focus on the things that you can do for yourself for wellness is really important. like getting regular exercise, having the social supports, maybe unplugging a little bit, right? And that's not just in terms of COVID and mental and this pandemic related, but also taking a step back from being on technology at all and going back to the basics and having face-to-face conversations and playing board games, right? Getting out, playing with your pets and animals, reading, having a cup of tea, just kind of watching the sunrise or sunset. These things are going to help you kind of recharge and focus your energy and be able to kind of ground yourself a little bit when you're not focused too much on all of those things that are beyond our control and all of those things causing us to worry and have these feelings of unease. So really knowing for yourself how you're feeling, checking in with yourself every day is going to be really, really important with that. And the extra little tips that we actually heard from youth are just the fact that taking it day by day, one step at a time. And how would you deal with any other stressors you're going through? This type of stress is just one thing on your plate, right? You still may have other things going on with family, with drama with friends, with no sports outside of school, right? Or any extracurriculars that you participate in. Maybe, weather is something that stresses you out a little bit. But how would you deal with those things? You would slow down. You would analyze and assess. You would think of possible solutions for this. You would reach out to someone and talk, and you would try to maybe use some helpful apps if you need to, reach out to counseling. Here 24/7 is really great with that, and just finding what works for you. But it isn't going to be forever either, right? This is what's happening now. So we need to make sure that we know that our life isn't on hold. It's still happening. And COVID and this pandemic is right here in the passenger seat with us. So making sure that we are going along with it, that we're not putting our life on hold, but we're making sure that we're taking all the precautions that we need to stay safe, to follow the rules, and to make sure that we're keeping up with our mental health as well. So I know this might have been a little bit longer of a video. I just wanted to kind of jump on and make this to let you know that there is more information coming. There's really great resources and websites about back to school stressors and just regular mental health and wellness for youth in general. So that's going to be in the description underneath this video. It'll be in the comments when I post this on Facebook and Instagram, Twitter, all of that. But also keep your eyes peeled and come back and check for that really lengthy, I know it sounds not so great, but that 1 hour video that really will go into more details and who to reach out to, other supports, and more information about the tips and strategies that you can use and then apply for yourself for this year. So good luck. I know some of you might have started already and some of you are starting this year, but whatever it is, you're doing the best you can. Good enough is good enough. And knowing that you're not alone, there's many people out there that are experiencing the same things, but we are all in this together and we're going to get through it. So thanks for listening and have a great and hopefully not as nerve-wracking back to school start. Thanks. Have a good day.